Okay, let's just do a few audio checks. Let me know how I sound, please. And then we'll get into tonight's stream. I hope you're all well. We've got 9 watching, 4 likes. It's Father's Day, so happy Daddy's Day, I call it, because of Jack, that's what Jack calls it. Happy Daddy's Day to all the daddies. So I'm on the phone to my dad for quite a while, which is why I'm a little bit late. And then I had to feed the hedgehogs and all the birdies for in the morning, because the birds have got to be, they're up at 4, so they've got to have all their food ready. So I've done the hedgehogs, done the birdies, cleaned all, disinfected everything, had a good chat with my dad. I've walked George, so that's why we're a little bit late tonight. So we won't be going too long because it's so late, but we'll do an hour and we'll see how it goes. And tonight, now, I want to check if you want me to continue with this. It got really dark the other day and I didn't like it, but it's stuff that we have to. The thing is, this is where I am with this. First of all, is the audio okay? Let me know. Is it too loud, too quiet? Al, I did ask you to do a check for me. Let me know how the audio is. You were gonna come back to me. Just let me know if it's too loud, too quiet, if it's clear. Is it okay? Hi, Avogadro. Sounds good to me, says Brum Vixen. Fab, Julius, you're 2 minutes early. Technically, yeah, hang on, it's back. How's the audio? Is it good? Yeah? Brill. Thank you very much. Hi, Mocha. Hi, lovely Jubbly. Thank you very much, Avogadro. Tamsin, hello, my love. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, it's dark, but the thing is, right, hang on, what's George saying? Al, can you come and see what George is looking at, please? He's barking at the window. The thing is, it's dark, but I did do it in a way that was quite... I literally just read out what he said. There was nothing rude, if you know what I mean. As adults, it's not how you speak about kids, but there was nothing actual in there that was illegal, should we say. I wouldn't have read it if it went any sexual way. I wouldn't have read it, but I will say that it was not the sort of thing that anyone should be saying about children. Hi, Last Saxon, it's been a while. How you doing? Are they still out there? Good. They're taking that car. Okay. Hi, Sawon, how are you? Who else we got? We've got from Vixen's here. Yeah, the thing is, if we don't talk about that sort of stuff, then we don't get to the truth, like you say. Now, do you guys want me to continue? Now, I've had not one person so far tell me to stop, but I know some people don't care about this case for whatever reason. They come here for paranormal and stuff, and we're not stopping the paranormal at all. But I've had people asking me to do this case for so long, and the thing is with me, once I start something, Al will tell you what I'm like. When I get my teeth into something, I get really intrigued and I have to keep going. And that's just me. That's my personality. It's like with the bird watching. I started bird watching and now I'm a full-blown Twitcher. I know all the songs and everything. I'll thank you, Mocha. Appreciate that, because it is a difficult one, isn't it? Hi, Susan. How you doing, my love? So, yeah, it's a difficult one. So I'll tell you what, I'll continue for now. It's not forever. It's not for... I am a Twitcher. I don't care if people laugh at me. I really don't care. When I was with Free Speech the other week, hi, Ann City Farm. Thank you for giving me what you wanted. When I was with her, I was going, oh, look, can you hear a jackdaw? Oh, can you hear a goldfinch? Oh, you can hear chiff chaff. And she's like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. Anyway, hi, Lozzaby. Thanks for bringing Wendy in as well. Yeah, Amy's there every single day. I know it is funny, Last Saxon. You're all right. You can take the mic if you want. I don't get offended. Yeah, so there was a video the other day. Before we start, I just want to say this to Julius. The other day, there's another Robin, because Robins are extremely territorial. are really mocker, and they don't like other robins unless they have to come together for mating. Amy it's her area, and this other robin that has been in our garden for a while, but he lives on the opposite side, he doesn't really come in much. He came in, and her reaction, I caught it on camera, so I'm going to upload it. I've never seen Amy so irate in my life. This poor robin did a runner, but he has been here before, but he just sort of hides. Can you blame him? Okay, Susan says continue. Mocker's favourite pastimes. I'm a little bit sad now with it. Bought some binoculars and everything. Only cheap one. Well, not cheap, but not expensive. They are territorial. Okay. Oh, that's sad. She's amazing. I will show you. I'll upload some more videos. Okay, so moving on to tonight. Now, I will continue. There is so much stuff. Now, if you want me to carry on, I can bring to you. I've got nearly 100 pieces of evidence sat ready to go. I've managed to find the original sniffer dog video of the Cavida dogs going around the apartment. Raw footage. It's like an hour and something long. But what I want to show you now, no, it's not. Not unless you guys want me to stop. I do what you guys want me to do. So, yeah, the thing is, I've spent hours and hours and hours researching this stuff. And every time I think, right, there's one more stream now. There's one more stream to go. And then I'll find something. I'm like, oh. And then I'll find something else. And I'm like, oh. So I didn't realise the amount of stuff I was going to find. I really didn't. Did you guys watch the video that I uploaded today? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll start with that. Let me just get into that. Bear with me. Let's go to my channel. I uploaded this. I did, the only editing that I did was to put some captions in and a bit at the start, a bit at the end, just to do it fair use so that no one can say I'm stealing videos. But everything else was just raw footage. So, why is it doing that? Hang on. Right. If you haven't seen this, watch this video. So this is from today. I will link it as well. So it was literally the raw footage, other than I paused it a couple of times and I put this at the beginning. I will link this as well if you want to go and watch it in your own time. It's not long, but I do think it's important that we watch this. Okay, here we go. I think this was originally uploaded in 2012, but I think this was from really not long after. But Jerry's reaction says a lot. And also the PR woman, I forgot what her name was, but she came in and then she went again. You can hear her telling him, stick with the story. But okay, listen to this, folks.
Hace unas 2 semanas la investigación dio un giro radical porque se hallaron en el apartamento minúsculos restos de sangre. Cuando vosotros os enteráis de eso, de que la policía ha descubierto sangre en el apartamento, ¿cómo reaccionáis?
Do you know what? This is all investigation. I need to speak to the police. You know, all your questions are about the investigation. And we can't comment on it.
Look at her face. Look at her face, folks.
Jerry? No.
Let me know if you'd seen this before, by the way.
We can't answer questions about it.
I asked about your reaction. Your feeling. Just your feeling.
So that you can stick to the official line.
It's too hot. She's saying you need to carry on and stick to the official line. Listen to her in the background. We want you to stick to the official line. So the guy's saying, the interviewer is saying, the Portuguese man, we just want your reaction to it. We're not asking you to get involved in the investigation. We want your reaction to the fact that blood was found in the apartment and the dogs smelt a corpse. These dogs don't lie. People say, oh, probably just, DNA from the twins and the nappies. No, they found blood. They found Madeleine's blood and they smelt a corpse. The dogs did. Okay, so let's just listen to this bit again.
I asked about your reaction. Your feeling. Your feeling.
So that you can then stick to the official line.
He's too off. Give him a minute. He's back off. Go and get some fresh air. No, don't worry.
So I don't know what you guys think about that video, but let's get into the chat. I think that video is very telling. Yeah, he seems to get very angry. Good night, Last Saxon. God bless. Hi, Gina. Never seen this. It's speculation, so we can stick to the official lines. Yeah. If our media, I'm going to show you something in a minute, but our media in the UK was, for the first couple of months, was asking all these questions, but then it got used to the media doing what they wanted, the narrative, and the Portuguese was still asking questions. He does get very easily triggered. Now, these people are supposed to be, their daughter's missing. I don't think it was that long after. I need to get the exact date, but it's not long after because she's in Portugal. Can you imagine if that really did happen? If little Madeleine was really taken by a stranger, you would be absolutely beside yourself. You would be imagining all these things. I can't even go. I touch wood. It makes me feel physically sick. You wouldn't be able to be calm. You wouldn't be able to rest because your child could be going through anything. Has she eaten? Has have they done anything horrible? You just can't imagine, can you? So what I want to show you now is this, again, I can't big up the people enough that uploaded this stuff at the time. Remember, YouTube was in its infancy. It was about a year on. Let me just find this article. Just bear with me. YouTube was pretty young. I think it had only been going a year. People weren't thinking about this sort of stuff back then. So the dedicated people that archived all of this, they've probably long gone now. That some of them might have passed away. I don't know, but I just think to myself, thank God for these people that saved all this stuff. So what I want to show you now is there's a website called it's the Madeleine McCann research group. These people just want to get to the truth. It's really interesting read. Right, let's just get this up on the screen. Okay, you can see it now. Okay, now this person here has done a lot of work logging everything. Did you know as well, the future shows will show this, but did you know that just a couple of days after Madeleine supposedly got abducted, Jerry was blogging. He was writing a blog every day. Why would you do that? He was doing it online. He's took it all down now, but there's people that have got it still, writing stupid things down. All of this has blown my mind, and that is why I just want to bring it all out there. But like I say, if you get bored, let me know, please. I did mean to do a poll. to be honest. Right, hit the like, guys, please. 20 likes. Okay. Now, how the press looked before the establishment swept all of this under the carpet, right? Let's not forget what we spoke about last time. Gordon Brown's brother, one of their friends, lived on his street and apparently told him to tell his brother to get involved. I don't believe that. These people had direct links. You just happened to see him jogging a few hours after Madeleine was abducted. The media establishment do not act like this unless there's a valid reason. If this was in the US, just like the Chris Watts case, I was just talking to Al about this. If the Chris Watts case happened here, he would have probably got off with it. Because one, our police are crap, and two, you've just got to pay the right people and things just get swept under the carpet. Do you know how many people are being pulled from rivers daily now? And every single time they entered the water, it was an accident. Filed past the corridor all the time now. All the time. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. But they're just covering it up. Hi, Carlos. So now this is the article that Team McCann didn't want you to read. Now, do you remember I told you they sued the Express? They sued the Daily Express for this in, I think it was April 2008, over this article. This is really, really good journalism before they were quietened. Is that the right word? Never, Bridget. They don't get involved with missing people. That's the thing. So this was the Daily Express doing its job as they should do in this sort of thing before the establishment got involved. So this article appeared very briefly in the UK Daily Express in September 2007. It was very quickly removed. So if you've got a physical paper, great. And then all traces of it were removed from the Daily Express website. Fortunately, a saved copy has been discovered. And it says, I'm going to just quote now. Hi, Jane. How you doing, love? I'm going to quote now, okay? So before they start getting their lawyers out. 24th of September, McCann's are lying. Again, the Daily Express. And it was by David Pilditch and Martin Evans in Proud Deluge. Portuguese police believe, this is just before they were named as Inuagos or around that time, suspects, Jerry and Kate McCann are using friends to hide their role in killing Madeleine. The Daily Express can reveal that their 7 holiday friends, that's the tapas 7, may now be named as suspects, as police believe they are hiding the truth about Madeleine's death. The dramatic move comes as it was reported that former chief suspect Robert Murat is to be told he will not face charges over the 4-year-old disappearance, which she was nearly 4. Ruling him out of the 4-month investigation will leave Kate and Jerry as the sole suspects. Let's not forget that they must, by this point, they were suspects. Okay. Last night, police sources said that the decision could have a devastating impact on the McCann's defence. In an astonishing twist, British expat Murat could be used as a key prosecution witness against the McCanns. Almost the entire police case against Murat was built on evidence from the couple's holiday friends. There was never any evidence against him. It was all what they said, just like the abduction. It was all what they said. There was no evidence of an abduction. There is zero, nada, nothing, no evidence of an abduction. There's no break-in marks because then they said the doors were unlocked. To get around there being no break-in, They had to say the doors were unlocked. How else can they get away with it? Who leaves the doors unlocked? No babysitting, listening service. They've had to say they didn't do it because it wouldn't. They've had to literally come out with the most stupid, far-fetched reasons to explain why there's an abduction. I do not believe that there was anybody else involved in their death other than them two. I hope someone can change my mind. My mind is open to be changed, but every little thing I'm finding is saying the same thing. Yeah, we'll get on to the dogs. Hi, Larry Weinberg. How you doing? So, investigators believe, again, this was in the Daily Express, folks, and they got sued for this. Investigators believe the McCanns cooked up a story that Madeleine had been kidnapped to throw them off the trail and enlisted members of their party to provide them with an alibi. They also believe the group tried to turn the focus of the investigation towards Murat. What did I say the other day? They were all coming out and saying that they've seen him or a man that looked like him hanging around. But nobody else, no independent people, seen any of this. Only the Tapas 7 and Jerry and Kate. Yesterday, it was revealed that police are questioning new witnesses who cast doubts over the evidence of members of the holiday group. The McCanns and their friends told how they took turns to check on their children every 30 minutes as they ate at a tapas restaurant on May the 3rd, the night that Madeleine went missing. Hi, Bobby. But one Portuguese newspaper reported that employees at the restaurant insisted that only Dr. Russell O'Brien, 36, and hospital consultant Matthew Oldfield left the dinner table that evening. So they were all taking it in turns to go and check. Just two of their doctor friends, males. Another witness has come forward to refute the testimony of a third friend, Jane Tanner. Remember that one that said that she's seen the man, who told police that she saw a man carrying a child rushing from the Ocean Club complex around 9:15 on May the 3rd. Yesterday, it was reported in Portugal that a new witness, an unnamed Irishman, told police that he was in the same spot at the same time and saw no one. I think that is referring to that guy that was playing tennis with Jerry, because he said he was in that spot. But I need to try and find his name. Oh, what's his name now? I think that's him, but I can't say for sure. He is the second independent witness to dispute her story, and police sources say they viewed Miss Tanner's evidence as unreliable because of inconsistencies. Officers are concerned that she apparently changed her version of the sightings. She originally claimed she saw the suspect rushing towards a Baptista supermarket in Praia de Luz. She told police the child was wrapped in a blanket. A second independent witness reported seeing a similar man with a child in a blanket near the town's church, heading towards the beach. The route he took matches the alleged trail of death discovered by British sniffer dogs. George is coughing. You're right, George. Just read that bit again. So, she claims she saw him rushing towards the supermarket. She told police the child was wrapped in a blanket, but an independent witness saw a man with a child in a blanket near the church heading towards the beach. I believe that was what was the actual one of them with Madeleine, because the route he took matches the alleged trail of death discovered by British sniffer dogs who detected the scent of a corpse. Let's not forget, not only did they find blood in the apartment, hang on, I need to move my legs around. They didn't just find blood in the apartment. They got the smell of death of a corpse. These dogs, they do what they do. They know what they are doing. I trust the dogs over a human any day. I don't know about you guys. But so not only did they smell the blood, they also smelt death, a corpse, a trail towards the beach, which would match up with this independent witness that said that she's seen or he's seen a man carrying a child going towards the beach. Yeah, part truth. This is how they do it, you see. If you can tell partly the truth, then you can get away with it. Well, they think they can. Right. Hi, Kim. Welcome to the live stream. So you don't hear about this anymore. Like, most of this I wouldn't have known about this trail going to the beach. I believe, on hand on heart, right, I believe that however that she was killed and they're involved and that they put a body out to sea, which is why I'll never find her. Never find her. And it, you know, to see in Portugal, you've got some big sharks around there. You've got just anywhere. We're like 90% water or something, the earth is. You got no chance unless one day she washes up. It's a horrendous thing to say. And I feel sick just talking about a child in that way. It is horrible. It is horrible. But we've got to get this out because these people are getting away with it. I wish that they would bring in the Americans. There's some brilliant FBI profilers that have covered this case. Patricia Brown is one. She's done some great work. I've been listening to her audiobook. Peter Hyatt, who's dead now, RIP, died of cancer, he covered it as well. Because these Americans, these CIA, FBI people, they do the job. They don't have any royal family members telling them what to do. Okay, so anyway. So then this independent witness seen the man with a blanket. And the dogs also picked up that trail going towards the beach. But Miss Tanner, and I'll show you a picture of her in a bit, bless you, I think Gizmo's got a cold, has now told detectives that the man was heading in a different direction. So she's changed her story towards Murat's home. How coincident and how coincidental that they're trying to blame it on this Robert Murat. And it just so happens that she's changed her story to he was going towards his home. She's found out where he lives, hasn't she? Police regard her account as one of a series given by the McCanns and their friends to convince them that Madeleine had been kidnapped. You're right, George. Why are you tapping me? Don't tap me. We've been out, George. Come on. Officers believe former hospital anaesthetist Kate, 39, killed her daughter by accidentally giving her an overdose of sleeping pills. They are working on the theory that consultant cardiologist Jerry, also 39, helped to dispose of Madeleine's body. Police are waiting results of toxicology tests carried out on the bodily fluids with an 88% match to Madeleine's DNA found in the boot of a hire car that the couple rented 25 days after she went missing. Let's not forget they hired a car 25 days later. Now, I've been told by McCann supporters, oh, well, it was the nappies, it was the twins' nappies, and they just picked up that. No. The thing is, when people just come out with these things without anything backing it up, you need to look into it properly. It wasn't just random DNA. It had an 88% match to Madeleine's. And remember, The technology wasn't very good then. The forensics team who were based in Birmingham, I don't know if they still are, they're the ones that come out and said it was an 88% match. And then dramatically overnight, it came out with, we're not sure. Well, the Americans have offered to retest it. They've got better technology now and they can retest it. That was all being talked about. That's gone quiet as well. It's been a massive close down. David Cameron was Prime Minister. Well, when he became Prime Minister, he was the one that was getting Kate and Jerry into some very fancy clubs and, really pushing the status. He met them. Theresa May met them. It started with Labour and Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, and then it continued with the ever so dodgy David Cameron. Right, okay. Where are we now? Let's carry on. So the DNA they found, they were testing it for toxicology reports to see whether there was any drugs in that. I'm guessing it was saliva. I don't know. It might not have been. It might have been blood. So they were bodily fluids, testing toxicology. What were the results of that? Because this article was taken down and sued. Now, why would the McCanns be begging for money and using it to, one, pay off their mortgage on their second home, and two, to sue everybody? They were suing people left, right and centre. They was all lawyers. Dr. O'Brien, along with Mr. Oldfield's wife, Rachel, and another friend, Dr. Fiona Payne, who is the wife of that Dr. David Payne. See the last episode if you dare, because her husband has had some pretty bad accusations against him. Said that they saw Murat, near the McCann's apartment. They all say they seen him on May the 3rd. And their claim appeared to shatter Murat's alibi. Let's have a quick drink. Hold on. Yeah, Dr. Quincy would be all over this shit, wouldn't he? Sometimes I wish Columbo was real, Get in there and sort them out. Do you want me to continue, guys, or is this boring? Let me know. So detectives interrogated the McCanns at police headquarters in Portimao 17 days ago over the discrepancies. So this was the 24th of September. So it was the beginning of September, the first week of September 2007, they got the McCanns back because they went home. I think they went home after this and then they wouldn't come back again. Do you know another thing as well? We're going to watch a reconstruction in a bit, yeah? The McCanns refused to take part in a police reconstruction, but they were happy to do it for Sky News. Why is that? Okay, Bridget, my love, and Tamsin. The couple were told separately that day that they were being named as suspects, or aguidos, which is the Portuguese name for someone that's more than a witness, but not enough evidence to charge. So basically, it's a suspect, but they don't use that word. Last night, another member of the McCann's holiday party was reported to have stepped into the mystery. The move came after it was revealed that police in Portugal were focusing their investigation on a lost 7 hours on the day that Madeleine disappeared. Now, Dr. Payne's husband, so that's Fiona Payne, yeah, they wouldn't take part in that, but the Netflix one, apparently I've not watched it, really pushed the narrative of kidnap, and that's why I don't want to watch it. I want to watch I want to know real raw stuff, not the narrative of Netflix, which is why I've not bothered with that. So now Dr. Fiona Payne's husband, medical researcher David, remember, claimed that he saw Madeleine being put to bed when he visited the McCann flat at 7 p.m. Do you remember, was it last time or the time before, when I told you that apparently while Jerry was playing tennis with his tennis partner, who also says that he never seen this person carrying the child, when he was talking to Jerry outside the apartment that evening. Apparently, this is what David Payne said, that while Jerry was playing tennis, that he went to visit Madeleine and Kate at 6:30 in his statement. It's changed here. At 6:30. Why would this man go and check on this other man's wife and child and watch them be put to bed? That doesn't make any sense. And let's not forget, it's the same Dr. David Payne who had those allegations made against them, remember? From the last holiday. I loved Quincy. Hi, DJ Rockford. What was that other one as well? With Dick Van Dyke. I loved that. So he's saying that he saw Madeleine being put to bed when he visited the McCann flat at 7 p.m. Before his new testimony, so he's changed it, police sources admitted they could not confirm the whereabouts of Kate and Madeleine after 1:29 p.m. that day. So no one else seen him apart from this David guy on the evening. Kate's movements were said to be unaccounted for until she sat down to have dinner with Jerry and their friends around 8:40 p.m. But the McCanns believe that Mr. Payne's testimony will be crucial in proving their innocence. Imagine having him to prove your innocence. That would leave just an hour and a half in which they were supposed to have killed their daughter and disposed of her body. But last night, a source in Portugal said that police were viewing alibis provided by the McCann's friends with suspicion. They are convinced that some or all of them may have known what happened to Madeleine and may have helped to cover up her death. The source said police had not ruled out the possibility of naming them all as suspects, and they could face being charged as accessories. The source said, "It has long been considered a number of people may have been involved in this unfortunate case. In Portugal yesterday, it was revealed that detectives have seized a British police manual from the McCanns." What the F? A British police manual. Why would they have that? This was in September. Why were the British police giving the McCanns a manual? See what I mean? The police are up to the necks in this. Officers believe the book could be used as a key piece of evidence in building a case against them. A Portuguese source said it is certainly not the sort of reading material you would expect. Now, here you go. Just before we continue, here's the head. Right. This is your proof that this article existed. It's not some made up stuff. Okay. You know, this article existed. Here's a copy of it. Now, this is obviously, this was a paper copy uploaded because you can tell this isn't from the website. Here you go. 24th September. Winacorsa, free glucosamine tablets for every reader. I was reading The Sun back then at work. I wasn't reading this. And you go, McCanns are lying. This was the front page of the Daily Star. Portuguese police say friends are in cover-up. See? And they were sued for this. Couple to take on a relaxing holiday. And that is what I was just talking about. That's what they said. All right. So this was uploaded to this website on the 16th of September 2018. So this news article was missing. All this time it was missing. And someone has found the newspaper and uploaded it and typed it out. Thank you. So the next thing on this website is taken from the official guest records at the Ocean Club. What were all these doctors doing there at the same time as the McCanns? So just before we move on to this bit, diagnosis murder, yes. Oh, I love that. Whenever I was on a week's holiday from work, or if I was off sick, I would love watching that. It was on in the afternoon at 2 o'clock on BBC, after Neighbours. Back in there. Hi, Rachel, love. So this happened. The British media were all over it. And they sued. They successfully sued the Daily Express, and the Daily Express had to do an apology and pay them over £500,000. But the Daily Express could have very easily, I think it was an out-of-court settlement, because if that would have gone to court, because they sued them for libel, if that had gone to court, you know, the McCanns would have been screwed, because the Daily Express would have had to have revealed in court everything that they were saying was true. They would have had to have revealed their sources and proven that what they were saying was true. But they didn't let them go to court. They settled out of court. Why? I believe that the Daily Express were paid off by the government, so they never actually lost any money. They were probably given $1 million and said, give me the McCann's half, say sorry, keep your gob shut, and we'll give you, well, you can keep the rest. Something like that's just my opinion. That's what I think happened. I'm not saying that that's correct, but it's my theory. How are we all doing in chat? Hit the like, guys. 33 likes. Illuminati confirmed. Hit the like, dislike if you don't like it, or me. Hi, John. So this is testimony of official guest records at the Ocean Club. Now, what's this, guys? Look at this. These are all the people that had been at that Ocean Club. I don't know if it was that night. Yeah. Look at this. Why were all these doctors at the exact same time as the McCanns? Listen to this, folks. Let's not forget that Madeleine was born from IVF. We don't even know if Jerry was her dad. Personally, I don't think he was. IVF often isn't. Are we convinced that, honestly, have you seen Kate's neck? It's bigger than her head. Are we even convinced that these people can have children? Just saying. So all these doctors were at the same place that night, not on their table, but they were all there. This is taken from the official guest records. Isn't it just, Larry, very odd? Dr. Paul Weinberger, Chief Executive Officer of Diasolve Limited and former chairman of the British In Vitro Diagnostics Association. In vitro is what they used to call IVF before this just called it IVF. I'm starting to think that these people didn't ever have these kids, you know, and they were sold them. I don't know. Something's off. My spidey senses have always been off. Number 2, Dr. Julian Topman, GP, who had a second surgery with Important Down, MOD research establishment. Why would he have 2 surgeries? Number 3, Michael Jankzor, City of London banker. Robert Naylor, number 4, corporate finance banker. Number 5, Alistair Hind, financial modelling and project finance. Number 6, Philip Edmonds, director of StemCore, which is like a stem cell company, I think. Number 7, Dr. Rachel Clapton, GP Salisbury. I think we should do a deep dive into the Salisbury poisoning as well at some point, because that was dodgy as well. That was all related to Portendown. That was really dodgy. Number 8, Christopher McNamara, consultant hematologist. Number 9, Giovanni Massulla, specialist in superconductors and diagnostics techniques. Number 10, Richard Power, consultant orthopedic surgeon. 11, Dr. Hume. 12, Paula McGarry, retinal screening admin, failsafe manager. Number 13, Nicole Cox, project administrator with Pfizer. 14, David Payne, and he was on the tapas table with them, senior research fellow in cardiovascular science. Number 15, his wife, Dr. Fiona Payne, who is an anaesthetist. Number 16, these are on the table with them, Dr. Russell O'Brien, co-director of BNBS program, European Union of Medical. I think it's supposed to be specialist, consultant in acute medicine. Number 18, Dr. Oldfield, consultant endocrinologist and specialist in diabetes. Number 18, Jane Tanner, marketing manager for medical scientific supplies. And 19, Rachel Oldfield, corporate tax lawyer. Are all these people all connected in some way? So the last ones you heard were the people that were on their table. But not only were the doctors on their table, all those other people were in the restaurant that night. Why were they all there? Anybody else's spidey senses going nuts on this? Let me know. What's this cozy? Jerry McCann, abuse of power. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to click that link at the moment. I will do after. Mark Warner, Ocean Club. Now remember, Mark Warner Holidays. I used to hear about adverts all the time about Mark Warner. You don't hear about them anymore, do you? It seems to me that this destroyed Mark Warner Holidays, because I used to watch ads. It used to be like couples holidays, didn't it? I remember. And this is the Mark Warner Ocean Club Pearl Deluge. There's the club there. Their apartment was down here somewhere, I think. Having a bit of my tea. Hold on. Well, that would explain it. Like you say, Cosmic Water, Portendown, it's all classified. Were these some sort of research scientists involved in something? Because the government were dead set on shutting this down, and they would not let the Portuguese police do their work. Why? So I'm starting to think there's more to all them doctors there. Something else was going on. And I don't like it at all, one bit. Okay, so here's the Ocean Club. I don't know who that is. It's giving you a little view of the place. Their apartment's here somewhere, I think, but correct if I'm wrong. It's just giving you a bit of giving you an idea of how far away it was. So there, where they were, the tapas was all the way over here. You had a swimming pool, you had tennis courts, you had these houses in the way. They said it was the same as being in someone's back garden. Who believes that? Does this look like it was like someone being in the back garden and your kids being in bed? I think not. Here we go. Look. Murat's home is being searched. It's 80 yards from the McCann's apartment from which Madeleine disappeared. Tapas bar, where Kate and Jerry McCann were eating when their daughter went missing. That is not a couple of yards and the same as being in someone's back garden. Look at all this in the way. You've got a swimming pool there. My first thought would be she's wandered off and fell in the pool. I'll be checking the pool. Hi, Mr. Steve. We're just doing some research. Yeah, it is, Bridget, at least. And then you've got trees and that in the way as well. I know that people have gone there, and there's no clear line of sight at all. Some pictures of the apartment here. So there's the window, there's Madeleine's bed, there's the cot, and then there's another bed here. And apparently, according to the Portuguese police, she wrote in her diary that the night before this happened, she slept in this bed and not with Jerry. Okay, so here we go. Here's all the apartments. This is where they were all sleeping. So the McCanns were down here. On the ground floor as well. On the ground floor with the doors unlocked in a strange country. Come on. All very close together, weren't they? It's a really good website, this is. So, the £7. Here they are. Now, there's only 6 there. I don't know where the other one is. Hang on. Jane Tanner, Russell O'Brien, David and Fiona Payne. So, I think that's that David Payne, I think. But that's that Jane Tanner. There's something about her. Now, do you know that these lot here, they sued the press, I think it was in 2018, and won for slagging them off? It doesn't make any sense. But look at them. Look at the smugness on their faces. So there's only 6 here. Hang on. Jane, Russell, Fiona and David, Oldfield, Matt, and the mother-in-law. She's not there by the looks of it, unless that's her there. But there's someone missing from that picture. Now, there's Jane Tanner. Just look at her. Something off. I think that's that David Payne. I think. Looks like Ed Miliband. He does a bit, doesn't he? That redhead, the freak. Madeleine's 4th birthday party. Sorry, Madeleine's 4th birthday. 12th of May 2007, day 9. Right, so it would have been her birthday that day. And by this point, they have been... So this is 9 days later. By this point, they have perked up and appear to be enjoying their newfound celebrity status. So this is Madeleine's birthday. This is 9 days after your daughter's missing. Do they look devastated? Do they look worried about where their daughter might be? Make me sick, man. Just your proof that it wasn't just a one capture. There as well. Loving it. Loving all the attention. Flowers. Make me sick. Your daughter's apparently been missing. Your daughter's not missing. If your daughter was missing, you would be absolutely worried sick. Where is she? What's happening to her right this second? Do you know the Portuguese were so sick of these people? There you go. There they are. I'm just drinking some more of my tea. It's sickening, isn't it? 9 days after your daughter's supposed to have been abducted. There's links to everything in this website, you know. It's really good. Genuine grief. Those checked trousers Cadaver's scent was found on them. What's this? Right, so there's the checked trousers. She washed that teddy as well, apparently. So apparently the dogs found some sort of scent on their trousers. See, I didn't know about this. There they are again. She's got them on again. The story of Madeleine, 4-year-old British girl who went missing in the Algarve on May the 3rd, has been a hot topic of debate for over a decade. Hang on, just make this bigger. I think this is an article that must have appeared. I don't know, hang on. Madeleine has captured the hearts of millions of people all over the world. The official investigation by Scotland Yard into her disappearance, Operation Grange, do you remember Operation Grange? Has cost the British taxpayer millions. There has never been a case that has attracted as much interest and unprecedented police, media, and government investigation. So I think this is what this people have wrote on this website. Madeleine died in Portugal in 2007. Cadaver scent and her blood were found in the McCann's apartment. Within hours, the media were alerted, and within a few days of her disappearance, specialists from the Met Police and MI5 were on the scene for a missing child on holiday with her doctor parents. But no ordinary doctors, far from it. Kate and Jerry McCann from Rothley in Leicestershire were well connected to those in positions of power, government, law enforcement, Freemasons, the elite. How, so you may ask, it all began at the beginning during Jerry's education in Scotland. I'm reading this out now. This is not what I'm saying, okay? Pacts were made in high places, promises, assurances, selling of souls, perhaps, or perhaps all the coincidences are just that, and perhaps McCann was abducted. That's certainly what you will hear from the internet troll, Pamela Poison Gurney. They've got paid agitators, and paid trolls to bully people. Next time, we'll talk about the woman who was suicided. Don't know if you've heard about her. Hi, Jan. How you doing, my love? I dropped you a message. Don't know if you've seen it. Just seeing how you are. Hang on, seeing where I was. A woman who not only was instrumental in the tragic demise of Brenda Leyland, we'll be talking about her next time, has been the McCann's chief supporter across the web for a decade. I wonder if she's going to turn up, hurling abuse, intimidating and threatening anyone who dares suggest her precious Kate and Jerry are anything less than perfect parents, and the victim here. So Pamela Gurney, let's keep a lookout for her. Where are we now? No, there is one victim, and that's Madeleine. The level of support Gurney extends to the McCanns would suggest she knows them personally, or is actually Kate McCann or a relative. It probably is her herself. Madeleine McCann and other victims, and then that's it. So that's it for that website. Now, that's a really interesting, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's a really interesting website. Quite a lot of information's just come out. I've missed it, Jan, love. I'm literally glancing at the chat, darling. I'm not seeing much of chat at all. Right, okay. So much we need to look at. Let me just have a quick look. I'm trying to find something that they did. Just bear with me, guys. Do you know they were flying all over the place? They were going to Australia. They went to Slovenia. I'm trying to find this so-called reconstruction that they did. I'm just trying to find it now. See if I can find it. It was 2008, apparently, when they accepted the libel damages. Let me just get this article up. I will find this reconstruction. It'll be in here somewhere. There's so much stuff I've got to go through. So we're going to watch a couple of clips now. old clips, old interviews is what I wanted to show you tonight. So we're going to go through some of these. Okay, so this was 15th of October 2008. Now, this is when the media had done a full turn and the Express had been sued and the Portuguese paper had been sued. But I just want to add as well, I don't know if you guys know, but that Detective Amaral, do you know that they initially pulled his book from Amazon and they said that they were threatening to sue him, so Amazon pulled the book. He went to the European Court of Human Rights, which is why it's important that we don't completely come out of that. We should leave parts of it, say the stupid rules that are like 50, 60 years out of date, where people can just come here. But France is in the ECHR. France have them all in tents. So they just use that as an excuse. Oh, we need to pull out the ECHR. It's irrelevant. They'll still find, these lefty judges will still find a way around it. But the ECHR are the ones that allowed that Detective Amaral's book to continue. So they are there for some good things as well. Hi, Agnes. I totally agree, Agnes. I totally agree 100%. The reason why I'm covering this is because I think these people are liars. And because it's been in the press recently about this Christian Bruckner, whatever his name is, he's a patsy, in my opinion. Yeah, he's a wrong un. Blimey, he is a wrong un. Do I believe that he did this? No, I don't. So we're just going to watch some clips now. And we can just, this is when the Tapas 7 was so upset and they accepted libel damages.
The McCanns may have left Portugal, but they can't escape the case that's building against them. The speed with which it's moving is unprecedented. The direction it's taking is mysterious. The prosecutor has now asked the judge for permission to seize an object. It's an urgent request, and the judge needs to make his decision by the end of today. Nothing's been said about what this new evidence, this object, might be, just that the prosecutor knows what he's looking for. He's moved fast since the investigation took a dramatic turn last week.
Did you hear that? So the Portuguese were after some object. See, this is why I need to watch all this old stuff, because all of this has been buried. Yeah, we'll be covering Ben Needham as well, who went missing on the Isle of Kos in 1993.
On Friday, after hours of interrogation, Kate McCann was made a formal suspect. Then on Saturday, Jerry McCann was also named as a suspect. On Monday night, Sky sources suggested DNA samples found in the McCann's hire car were Madeleine's. Yesterday, a prosecutor took just a few hours to look over 6 volumes of evidence before his assistant announced the files were being sent straight to a judge. And today, that judge must decide whether to give the prosecutor permission to seize this object, which could be a clue to Madeleine's disappearance. These developments suggest the Portuguese authorities may be moving closer to bringing charges. It's unusual for the judge to receive the file so quickly, but could mean several things. The prosecutor could have requested more evidence. He may want to impose stricter bail conditions on the McCanns, or it's possible he wants to charge them. The McCanns haven't responded to the latest developments, but on his online diary, Jerry has said, "The last few days have been incredibly busy and, of course, unbelievably stressful."
So this is wrong. This isn't about the Tapas 7. This isn't me who's uploaded this. Yeah, this was his blog. He was updating this blog every single day, which is just weird.
And emotionally draining. The couple won't have to wait long to find out the nature of the prosecutor's request, because the judge has just 9 days now to decide whether or not to agree to it. Sarah Merchant, Sky.
Interesting. So that's wrong. Right, let's watch some other things. Let me just grab this up now. Okay, it's 7-2 watching. We'll be going a tiny bit longer, but not much. Please hit the like if you enjoy the content. Dislike if you don't. Don't get offended. But there are so many clips. I do want to start watching as well the clip of the dogs going around. That's quite a long one. Bear with me. This is a really weird one. This is a really, really, really short clip. Really, really short clip. I'm going to show you now. And this was the day that they went on holiday. This was the day before she went missing, I think. No, this was the first day of their holiday, right? And it's only 24 seconds. And there's little Madeleine sat there. Just think, because remember there was other children there. This little girl it was the first or second day of the holiday. But listen, if you can, to what Jerry says when the camera goes on him in front of the kids.
Oh, hang on. I think we're on video.
28th of April, first day of the holiday. Yeah, she is with there's the twins. There's Kate, there's Madeleine, and then there's other kids with them as well.
We're still on video, don't worry. We can get everyone in.
She doesn't look very happy, does she? She just doesn't. She always looks uncomfortable, you know. Yep, Tom's in it.
We can get everyone in.
There he is.
Cheer up, Jerry. We're on holiday.
Just fuck off. Cheer up, Jerry. We're on holiday. In front of the kids. Fuck off. He's a nasty piece of work. Let's watch this again.
Oh, hang on. I think we're on video. We're still on video, don't worry. We can get everyone in.
Is it me or do these two here look really depressed? I know.
Cheer up, Jerry. We're on holiday.
Didn't even smile, did he? Didn't even smile. That's the mother-in-law, right? So that was another thing that I came across. There's just so many of these videos, so many of them. Hold on, let's see what else there is. Bear with me. There's quite a few here of that PR representative who is the one that, you know, the one that was in that clip that I showed you earlier. Hi, Nanny L. There's quite a few of her. I seem to recall as well, I don't know about you guys, do you remember on day 2 when they said that they thought a couple had taken her? Because I remember this couple. They said it was a couple and then it went to a man. Do you remember that? Because I do. Right, just bear with me. I'm just trying to find something and then I'll be there. Hit the like, guys, if you don't mind. God, there's so many of these. Right. Oh, here's one of that man again. Hang on. Do you remember that Sergei guy? Right, and when I go on next time, I'm going to get all these in order for you because I didn't get a chance to do it first. So I'll be a bit more organised with my clips next time. But do you remember that Sergei guy? And we watched him being interviewed on the 6th and the 17th of May. Well, this was him again the day before. That Sergei guy. He had accusations of CP This is him, look, again.
Well, like I said, I don't really know him that personally. I did
This
some
is
work
day. This is the second day, and he's talking about Robert Murat.
as a website, and we have a strictly customer relationship for him, customer dealer relationship with it. So I wouldn't know. I'm sorry.
Now, obviously, you're a computer expert. Has he asked you to put anything like a firewall into his computer?
No, never. Actually, once I tried to offer him a service on the computer, but he said he's okay. He's sorted.
What's he like to work with?
He's a guy. We never had problems with him. Always in time. Actually, I've been late a couple of times. Never had problems with him. No, I think he's a cool guy. Actually, I'm quite surprised that this happened to get to this stage.
Good night, DJ.
What could the police, in your view, be looking for on that computer?
Oh, that's a difficult question. I would presume, from the point of view of the police, something to compromise it. Maybe some sort of history of websites, or I don't know. I couldn't tell, I'm afraid. Sorry.
And if they were looking for such a history, do you think they're able to find it?
Well, if, like I say, there's different experts with different skills, so depend on the skill of the person. Yes, if the person is skillful enough to get the recovery of the information from 6 or 8 months before, I would say yes. If you have a limited access to the hardware and diagnostic software, then doubt it.
And how long would it take to actually get that kind of information? How long would we have to wait to get any results from the police?
The recovery of the hard drive would take up to 3, 4, maybe 10 hours. If it's really deep recovery, I would say that maybe 12 hours to be sure.
And you've lived here now yourself for 7 years. Do you think the police have the kind of manpower to be able to do that?
Oh, well, I would suggest so, because they've been actually quite very, very efficient, and I think they've done a very good job. So I assume they'll get somebody from Lisbon or from Portugal, because they have a quite high intellectual department there.
So that was that Sergei Malinka, who we spoke about before, who was questioned. He was the friend of Robert Murat, colleague. But the interesting thing is, if you've missed any of my earlier shows, he was re-questioned in 2014 when they found that he dumped a sofa with Madeleine's DNA on it. There's so much dodginess going on here. There really, really is. I think what we'll do, it's nearly 11:30 now, but I wanted to do a clip show where we just go through all of these clips that I've found, because there is a lot. Gosh, there's so many. We're talking about when they've gone home. I've got clips from when they were on Lorraine in 2014. This one, I'll show you this one before we go. And this one was of the service that was done. And the priest, now people were saying about the priest knew. Now, apparently this was an Anglican priest or vicar, whatever you want to call it. And he used the term "was" about Madeleine twice, which I thought was a bit strange. Yeah, I've done quite a few on this now. This is like number 7, I think. I've had like a few people requesting this. Julius was one of them for some time now. And I thought, you know what, let's do it. And I thought this would be about 2 shows. But every time I think, oh, I'm done now, I find something else. I don't believe they were left alone, Sawon. I genuinely don't. The testimony, if you watch the beginning of this stream, the testimony of the Ocean Club, that there was only ever 2 men that went. I believe that the leaving alone is a cover story for why there was no sighting of this baddie, that they weren't there. I think that one of those men were always with the kids. I think the fact that the McCanns are happy to be charged over neglect, but they're not happy to be charged over more shows me that you imagine admitting to neglect. Why haven't they been charged for neglect? Because there was none, in my opinion. They'd rather be in trouble for that than what they actually did. I believe Madeleine was killed that morning or the night before. I've not seen you for ages, Agnes. How are you, my love? Right, let's just watch this clip and then we'll call it a day, and I'll jump back on. Tomorrow or the next day, we'll be watching the sniffer dogs at work. You want to join me for that? Hang on, what's this here? That's right. Okay. Listen to this, what the priest says. Or maybe it's not that one. I think it is, though. It's not this one. Don't think. It's a Vic who hasn't spoke. Oh, here we go. Hang on. Yeah, it is this one.
No, this is a very special service. We held vigils for her on her birthday. We had a celebration here for her birthday, her 4th birthday, on 50th day, on 100th day, and now in 6 months. It's just to remind Madeleine, wherever she is, and ourselves and her parents and everyone else that we're still waiting for her to come home. We haven't given up on her, and we're waiting to give her a big hug when she returns, and we're praying that that will happen.
Thanks, John. Now listen to this now. This is where it's a bizarre thing to say right at the end. Listen.
We could put the bracelets on the person beside us, to the little girl, and know who she was.
Who she was, not who she is. 6 months later, they're all talking about her in the past tense, even the vicar. Now, they were given something from him, and some people say that he helped them because he's got a cremation thing in there. That's what some people were saying. I personally don't think that. I think he knows, though, because whatever's confessed, they can't say, can they? But apparently he was an Anglican. I don't know. How long's this one on for? For 4 years, I'm going to leave this playing and then we'll end it, okay? So this was them in Australia. So many of these clips. We're gonna play this and it's going to see us out. If you want me to continue, I will. Tomorrow, probably. Depends what time I get back. If not, it'll be Tuesday. This is when they were on Australian TV in 2011, this one.
McCann have lived a never-ending ordeal, and they still don't know when or if it'll ever end. It began on a family holiday in Portugal when Madeleine, their 4-year-old daughter, simply vanished. She hasn't been seen since. Tonight, the mystery deepens. You're about to see home video never shown before and learn the vital clue Madeleine left behind. Here's Ronnie Sadler.
Okay, spin around, darling. Right round. Oh, yes, I can see your wings.
Give us a big smile.
Interesting, this is. It's interesting. It's on for 14 minutes, though. So, good night, everybody. I'm just going to let this play us out. 14 minutes. And it's 4 years after this happened. And this is just before they went on holiday. And this is Madeleine at home, apparently. And this was never before seen footage at the time.
Ah, yes. Yes. One more. Big smile. That's pretty.
She was an incredibly beautiful baby, actually.
This is just weird. Remember, this is only 4 years on. Your kid's missing. Your kid's allegedly missing. She could be chained up somewhere at 8 years old. The night mocker. She could be chained up somewhere. Well, in your mind, if she was missing, you wouldn't be sat on television 4 years later and talking about how pretty she was and how beautiful she was. This is so bizarre. This is on 14 minutes, guys, so I'm just going to let this play us out. So if you want to stick around and watch this, you're very welcome to. If not, good night, everybody. God bless. Thanks for being here. Remember to hit the like or the dislike. But yeah, this was never seen before. It's just not high fairy. This is not somebody. These parents are not acting like their daughter is actually missing. It's just like, I'm loving the attention.
You sound like the most biased parents on the planet now, but she was just really compact and just a really kind of nice, round, perfect head. And
are you listening to this? So we've heard she was beautiful, she was pretty, and her mother is describing her in the past tense as she was small and round and compact and perfect. This is not normal, folks. It's not normal at all. I'm just drinking the tea. Not normal. Yeah, I'm not gone yet. I'm going to play this.
And she opened her mouth, and the whole world knew she was with us.
She had McCann level volume. There's no doubt about that.
She was all past tense.
1, 2, 3.
All right, George.
Yay, well done. Okay, let's sing another one.
I always wanted to be a mother. I don't know if maybe that stemmed from being an only child and sort of, wanting that feeling of family.
Madeleine was the daughter Kate and Jerry McCann always wanted. For years, Kate struggled to fall pregnant, so when Madeleine came along, they felt blessed. They loved to photograph her, and she loved being photographed.
Anyone find that creepy? They loved to photograph her. She's 3, and she loved being photographed. She's 3 years old. She's 3. Now, what that woman's saying now, she's been told by them to say. I find that a really strange thing to say, talking about a 3-year-old like that.
Is the last picture of Madeleine taken 7 hours before she disappeared.
7 hours.
There's a photo of her that afternoon that was taken at 2:29, I think, because we've got it on the digital camera. And she
just want to say as well, when people are lying, they know too much detail. All right? That picture was not taken that day. It was taken the day before. I don't believe that was taken that day. 2:29. No. Too much information. Do you know, when I broke down their first interview, which was, I think it was either the second or the first stream on this, I watched somebody else break it down the other day, and he literally said everything that I'd said the first time. I couldn't believe it.
Sitting by the pool with myself, and we've both got our feet just paddling, and she is so happy.
It's been 1,543 days since Madeleine McCann vanished. To keep Madeleine's case alive, this private couple has revealed more of themselves than ever before. Kate and Jerry are both doctors. They married in 1998, and in 2001, after 3 years of failing to conceive naturally, they began IVF. 18 months later, on the eve of another hospital appointment, Kate did a home pregnancy test.
A little line appeared on the test. I'm a doctor, and it says on the box, any kind of line is a positive, but I was like, I'm not sure. But there's that faint kind of
showed it to me and I'm like, it's definitely. It's definitely.
Have you seen her bags under her eyes? Why has she only got one bag now? She's had some sort of surgery done there, look. It used to be on both. Weird. Look, watch.
And in 2001, after 3 years of failing to conceive naturally, they began IVF. 18 months later, on the eve of another hospital appointment, Kate did a home pregnancy test.
A little line appeared on the test. You know, I'm a doctor and it says on the box any kind of line is a positive, but I was like, oh, I'm not sure. But there's that faint kind of...
Showed it to me and I'm like, it's definitely. It's definitely.
No question.
And obviously we had a scan and there's a little beating heart and that was our little Madeleine, you know, so...
Who's that present for?
That's for Andrea.
Are we going to post it today?
No. We are. There's my letter.
Who says Say yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay.
And then, in May 2003, 3 became 5.
When she first saw the twins, she was just ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic.
Santa must have been all these toys. Alice.
Felt blessed, really, at that time.
You say the family felt really complete.
You know, we did feel incredibly lucky.
In late April 2007, the McCanns decided to travel to Portugal for a family holiday. In the pink pants climbing the stairs to the plane is Madeleine.
Oopsie, you all right?
It was the McCanns' first overseas holiday as a family, and they went with 3 other couples.
Lies. This is not true. They went on a holiday in September 2005 to Mallorca, which we know because we've read the police witness statements by one of the people that went on holiday with them. So that's not true. That just proves that these journalists, this woman in Australia, this so-called journalist, is just reeling off whatever these two are telling her. Because they should be doing their own research. It wasn't their first holiday. That's a lie. They went to Mallorca and Dr. David Payne was apparently, and if you watched last time, was being inappropriate around Madeleine and was saying disgusting things about her. Okay, and he was bathing her, and the woman, one of the parents who went on that 2005 Mallorca holiday, went to the police in October 2007. No, in May 2007, just after Madeleine had gone missing, and said, "I would like to raise concerns that this Dr. David Payne was on holiday with us and he was saying inappropriate things and doing funny actions." If you watched last time, you'll know what I'm talking about. And the British police never sent that to the Portuguese police till October. So there was a previous holiday and these things did happen because it's all in a witness statement that we read last time. So that's wrong again. It pisses me off when so-called journalists don't even get the information right. They are just reading out whatever these pair have told her. That is not journalism. Just saying.
Jerry, we're on holiday.
Oh, thanks, Joe.
It's a small resort. It was out of season, end of April, beginning of May, and it was incredibly quiet. We felt very relaxed there, very relaxed.
In the evening, the children were put to bed by 7:30, before the adults had dinner together down at the pool. From where they ate, Kate and...
They weren't down at the pool. They were past the pool. Shouldn't have put this on now because I'm getting angry again.
Jerry could see the back of their apartment
No, he couldn't.
and left the door unlocked.
No,
if you measure it directly...
It's been proven that they couldn't see the apartment. That's not true.
From the back of the apartment is a straight line to where we're dining. It's only 50 metres.
50 metres.
That's a direct line now.
49.4 on Google if you want to be really specific.
But the proximity was very close.
Madeleine and the twins slept in a room at the front of Villa 5A. Kate and Jerry believed their shuttered bedroom window, overlooking the car park and street, was closed and locked. Every half an hour, the parents would take turns.
Right, so they're saying that that shutter was closed and locked. And when the police turned up, the shutter, apparently, when the first people went to look, the shutter was closed, and then it was miraculously open. And they said that the baddie had broken in and broke the shutter, but the shutter was proven to have never been damaged. So how would the baddie have got a locked shutter up? Secondly, if the door was unlocked, why would you break in and damage a shutter when the door's unlocked? There's so many inconsistencies to this story. It's unreal. And that shutter is very loud and noisy. And witness statements have all said that locals have said if that shutter had been put up at that time of night in such a quiet area, people would have heard. More lies.
To check on each other's children.
We thought that was the best thing, and it seemed to work absolutely fine, and we didn't have any problem right until the Thursday morning when Madeleine said, why didn't you come when we cried last night? We thought, that's odd.
I've heard about this. Apparently the night before there was reports from people that she was screaming at being left the night before. That's when I think whatever happened. Why? And that night as well, the night before, Kate has wrote in a diary that she slept in the spare bed in Madeleine's room. But it's just, anyone can see that he's lying. All these experts at finding out lying, like, we can watch, next time we'll watch the dogs doing their thing, and then we can watch Peter Hyatt breaking this down, and he was the absolute expert on this.
I think somebody had either tried to get into the room or was in the room and woke them up the night before.
It just seems too much of a coincidence that she made that comment and then that happened that night.
Looking back now...
So they're saying here that
think
she
that
reckons
could have...
someone tried to get in the night before and gone, that Madeleine was crying. No, that's never been said before.
It's the best thing, and it seemed to work absolutely fine, and we didn't have any problem right until
great.
the Thursday
Leaving your kids every night. Yeah, wonderful. Weirdo.
morning when Madeleine said, why didn't you come when we cried last night? We thought, that's odd.
You now think somebody had either tried to get into the room or was in the room and woke them up the night before.
It just seems too much of a coincidence that she made that comment and then that happened that night.
Looking back now, you think that could have been your one chance to save her?
Well, as soon as I discovered that Madeleine had been taken, it just hit me straight away what she'd said that morning, and I just thought, oh my God, someone tried the night before.
The eyeballs starting around.
On Thursday night, Kate put her daughter to bed for the last time.
But my memory of that evening is really vivid. I mean, she was really tired, but she was just cuddled up on my knee, and we read a story. And we also had some treats. I had some crisps and biscuits.
Lots of love, God bless.
And then after they'd done the usual kind of toilet teeth, we went through to the bedroom and read another story, If You're Happy and You Know It. Yeah.
Is that a bedtime story? If you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. Not much of a bedtime story, is it? Watch their eyeballs. They're all over the shop.
At 9 p.m, Jerry checked on Madeleine.
Exactly, Mocha. Over and over and over. It has.
And the twins.
I actually stuck my head round the door and I just lingered for a few seconds and thought how beautiful she was.
This is really weird. Well, next time I'll show you the clip where he's walking around the apartment. It might be in this one, actually, I'm not sure. And he reckons the detail, it's too much detail. He reckons he stood there for a few minutes and stared at her, but then his initial statement said it was dark and he didn't see her. He said when he came in and looked that he couldn't see her. And then when Kate came, she was gone. And now it's all of a sudden he had this proud moment. It might be in this, I'm not sure.
And that
That's
was
the last time I saw her.
the last time you saw her.
Gulping, look. Liar.
You thought how lucky
wow,
you were.
that was
Exactly.
terrible. Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Your world shattered within an hour.
At 10 p.m, it was Kate's turn to look in on the kids.
The bedroom door where the 3 children were sleeping was open much further than we'd left it. I went to close it to about here, and then as I got to here, it suddenly slammed. And then as I opened it, it was then that I just thought, I'll just look at the children. And literally as I went back in, the curtains of the bedroom, which were drawn, were closed. It was like a gust of wind, kind of just blew them open. And the curtains, which had been closed, just swung open into the room and revealed that the shutter was all the way up and the window being pushed right across.
See, now when you went to check, you would have seen that shutter up. If that was the case, that shutter, you would have noticed it up. She had to walk past it to go in. So now she's just happened to open the door and felt a gust of wind. Come on. Now she's saying the shutter was up. Lies.
And then I just knew she'd been taken.
How would
Kate
you know?
says after a quick,
How would
frantic
you know? You just don't know. And then she left the babies and went up to the tapas.
search of the apartment, she ran back towards Jerry, who was still with their friends at the table by the pool.
I can't remember exactly where the table was. It's kind of in this bit. So it'd be about round here. And I was kind of sitting in this bit.
Yeah, I mean, Kate's clearly distraught, and I jumped up, but it was kind of disbelief. She can't be gone. She can't possibly. How could she be gone? And I was saying that to Kate as we were both running.
Police were called within 15 minutes, but they didn't arrive for nearly an hour. It took them another 2 hours before they bothered to seal off Madeleine's bedroom. British investigators later called it the worst preserved crime scene they'd ever encountered. Roadblocks and checks weren't put on.
Go. They're now blaming the Portuguese police. They're blaming everyone other than the parents, saying it was not done correctly. Because apparently they didn't do this, they didn't do that. Well, there probably was a couple of things done wrong, I agree. But to blame it all onto the Portuguese police is wrong, in my opinion. And let's not forget, they didn't ring the police for nearly 2 hours. And it was the actual tapas bar that rang the police. They didn't even go out and search. They didn't go out and search. Again, this is all from their own witness statements. And if you watch back throughout the series of this, we've covered that, and we'll cover more, but it's so dodgy. The thing is, right, I couldn't be without my dogs for more than a couple of minutes. I'd be worried sick. I can't imagine how you'd feel. I wouldn't leave my dogs. I wouldn't leave them at home in their own home. I certainly wouldn't leave a child. I wouldn't leave Jack. He'd be 11 this year. I wouldn't leave him and go anywhere. At home. Imagine it on holiday in a different country, leaving a 3-year-old and 2 18-month-olds. It's just rubbish. That night, I believe they didn't leave them. Whatever happened the morning before or that morning, and they had to settle this up. But if this was done properly, they would have been caught. Yeah, apparently she washed the toy, but I haven't seen that anywhere. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but when I find the clip where she says it, then I'll bring it to you. I'm being told that she washed the toy, but I've not seen any evidence of that. If anyone's got the clip where she says she washed the toy, then send it in.
On Portugal's borders for a full 12 hours. And within days, hundreds of guests, potential witnesses and suspects had checked out and left without ever having been interviewed.
The night seemed so
You know
long,
why, don't
every
you?
second.
Because the police knew it was them two straight away. Exactly, Mocha. Yeah, I'm being told that, Joe, but how do we know that? Where did she say that? She left those 2 toddlers, Carlos, and went to the tapas bar. She left them.
It was excruciating and it was dark, and he just wanted to be light and everybody searching, and Madeleine found.
It's thought Madeleine was taken shortly after 9 o'clock. In the following 45 minutes, there were 2 significant sightings of a man carrying a young girl. The first by Jane Tanner, one of the McCann's friends.
I was walking up here, probably as I got to, it's hard to know exactly where, but probably about here. I saw the man walk across the road there.
This is what I've been looking for. It's on here. This is that Jane Tanner. Right, I've been looking for this. Thank you for... I'm so glad I paid this now. Thanks for sticking around. This is that Jane Tanner, and this is her lies. Now, you're going to see her in a minute laughing and joking. They've gone to Portugal, and they're doing this little mini reconstruction. Watch.
Child.
Jane had seen a man carrying a child away at 9:10, 9:15.
But no one took any notice because...
Why would you not take any notice? Apparently it was all damp. There was no street lights back then. It was all dimly lit. She's been proven, that Jane Tanner, that was made up. There was someone carrying a child, but they were heading a different direction. And she changed her story as well.
No one knew then that Madeleine was missing. They thought the man was a local father carrying his own sleeping child.
Did you see how dark that was? Into the street lights. How would she recognise the pyjamas and everything?
2 different witnesses reported seeing a man watching the McCann's apartment in the days leading up to Madeleine's disappearance. But the Portuguese police turned their focus on Jerry and Kate.
See, all of this is a massive smear campaign. This entire programme is all about painting Jerry and McCann as the victims and the Portuguese police to blame for this. This is a really bad hit job. They've got so many things wrong in this.
In September, 4 months after she went missing, the McCanns returned to the UK as suspects.
Did you kill your daughter?
Do you remember when they said they were never going to go home? Yeah, she asks them now, did you kill your daughter? Let's watch.
No, that's an emphatic no. I mean, the ludicrous thing is...
Let's watch that again.
The McCanns returned to the UK as suspects.
Did you kill your daughter?
No, that's an emphatic no. I mean, the ludicrous thing is what's been purported from Portugal is that Madeleine died in the apartment by an accident and we hid her body. Well, when did she have the accident and died? Because the only time she was left unattended was when we were at dinner. So if she died then, how could we have disposed or hidden her body?
Then,
when there was an immediate set. It's just nonsense. So, and if she died when we were in the apartment or fell and did, why would we cover that up?
They protest too much, guys. This is terrible. Have you seen him? No, why would that? You see, did you notice what he did then? A classic liar. What they do is they focus on, well, it would have meant she was only left alone on that night, so it would have been then. But it wasn't then, was it? It was that morning. You see what he's doing? Can you see how he's lying?
Gets even more ludicrous that we've obviously hidden her somewhere incredibly well where nobody's found her.
Incredibly
and we hid her
well.
so well that we then decided we'd move her in the car, which we hired weeks later. And it's just ridiculous.
When you come back to Portugal, do you feel closer to Madeleine?
And although I don't know where Madeleine is, that is the last place that I saw her and held her, and I guess there's a part of me that still feels connected to her there. So.
If Madeleine is alive, she'd now be 8 years old and possibly looks like this. And a reason for not giving up hope comes from this young woman. When Natasha Kampusch was 10, she was abducted near her home in Vienna. Like with Madeleine, the police were slow to act, and as the years passed, they believed she'd either been smuggled across the border by a pedophile ring or killed. But all the while, the whole 8.5 years, she was living in a cellar under this house, just 15 kilometres from her own home. Natasha was kept in a purpose-built dungeon. She was given up for dead by virtually everyone except her mum.
My mother always thought that I'd be alive.
Then, after nearly 9 years in captivity, her kidnapper finally let his guard down and Natasha escaped.
Do you still have nightmares?
Sometimes, but I'm looking forward. Mostly I'm looking in the future and not back.
Are you confident that you can now live a normal and happy life?
I think so, yes. I hope so.
I think kids can be written off, missing kids can be written off too easily. You cannot do that. You cannot give up on a child.
Give us more money.
Can we get you turned in a little bit closer to the area? Thank you.
With no police force currently investigating Madeleine's case, the McCanns are using their own money, including royalties from Kate's book, to hire investigators and former police to continue the search for Madeleine.
Kids are survivors.
Madeleine means tower of strength. Wherever she is, whoever she's been with, whatever's happened, we will get her through it.
You will not rest until you find your daughter, until you wrap your arms around her.
I don't believe any parent could, and I don't believe we could ever reach a point where we just think, oh, well, we've done everything now. Whilst the situation remains as it is, Madeleine's out there and she needs us to find her.
You'll keep looking forever.
We will.
Do you know that when she first went missing, right, they said she was dead pretty much straight away. Now, I know what you're saying about the sedative thing, but I still don't think it was that. I used to until I started reading about this Dr. Payne thing and the things that he was saying about her. The Lolita photo, what they put out of her with makeup on, was very sexualized. Don't like it. Didn't like it at all. Felt really uncomfortable. Yeah, that's Shannon Matthews. That was just a few months away, wasn't it? That was just a few months after that she tried to do it from all the attention. But look how she was vilified in the press because she was poor. Now, if you're rich and you've got people in high places, that just goes to show. Anyway, I'm gone on longer than I wanted to, but I'm glad that I played that. So next time I'll be watching more clips, but I'll get it in a better order. I'm Teddy Bear. Yeah, I know. You can't, can you? You can't. Like my Rupert Bear's 10 now. My little Rupert Bear, my Black Neverlandor. I've had him since August 2015 from a baby, and he's getting really old now. His kidneys are going. He's eating and everything, but he drinks so much and wheezes so much. Bless him. And I'm just trying to prepare myself, but my little Rupert, if I go quiet, that's why. Covering this. Oh, well, thank you, Bridget. I appreciate that. It's really kind of you to say. Yeah, I'm literally, I'm trying to look at it objectively. Oh, thanks, Joe. Thank you, darling. That's really kind. Thank you. I'm trying to look at this objectively, just looking at evidence, not trying to accuse anyone of anything, but building up a picture from the evidence. And that's all we can do, right? That's all we can do is, love you, darling. That's all we can do is, like that Dr. David Payne, some of that though, and there was already people reporting him and it's suggestive stuff. there's something wrong here, because I believe if that was just an accident, an overdose of sedatives, they would want to keep it on the D-low. These are psychopaths. Hi Assad, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, really, Bridget? I've hopefully got some more for you, because I've got to say I've spent hours and hours on this. Like I say, when I get my teeth into something, if it pings my interest, and this always has, because I've always felt this was off, I keep going and going, and I won't be satisfied until I've found everything. So I do appreciate that. Next time then we'll watch some more. I'm going to show you the video, the raw footage of the dogs going around the apartment next time. Yeah, there's that hurt. How are you, by the way, darling? Yeah, I agree, furry. It's so sad, isn't it? It's so sad. So yeah, so we'll just keep looking. We'll keep looking at evidence without having to accuse anyone of anything. But from what I'm seeing in the evidence, I'm not seeing anything that says that the parents weren't doing, that they don't. It's just the whole demeanor. It's like, it's so obvious that the way they're gulping the eyeballs, to getting angry at the interviewers, suing newspapers, taking money. They're still begging to this day for money. The website's still up. Donate. That's what it says. No stone unturned. It is still there. They're still asking for money. And they've used that money to sue. They made over $500,000 off the Daily Express, which is the article that we read earlier. They made over 550 million libel suing the Daily Express, and they settled out of court. I wish to God they had a backbone and went to court, because then everything would have been put out in court. Anyway, George wants to go to bed. All right, George, can you hear him? He's making a bed in my laptop. Coming now. Okay, Mummy's coming now, my George. Right, guys, thank you. So either tomorrow or the next day, I'll be back, and we'll be watching some videos, and we've got the dogs doing the searches, and we're going to watch. That's if you guys want me to continue. You seem to, so I will. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate you all, and your really kind comments as well. The evidence, in my opinion, states that if the children weren't left alone, then it couldn't be said. Exactly. So I don't think they were left alone. And that's why they've not done them for neglect, because there was no neglect. Take care, everybody. Thanks, Sawun. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Furry. Thanks, Bridget. Thanks, Assad, Joe, Cosmic, Jane. Thank you, everybody. Good night and God bless. Bye.